Don't give up now. There is she. Your darling. Your princess. His baby. Agamemnon's baby. My Agamemnon's baby. Don't give up now.
Electra! There you are, child. Look, dear. A lamb. A newborn from my own flock. And here, child, look. Some cheeses. Flowers. Something from the cellar. Not big, but old. Full-bodied. Such a bouquet. Good for mixing. Get someone to take them in. Serve them to your visitors. I'm sorry. I can't help it. Old eyes, let me wipe my eyes.
Uncle, what's wrong? Is it for me you're weeping? For Orestes so long away? For father, the prince you brought up? For this? For this?
As I was coming here, I passed his grave in the middle of nowhere. I wept. The wine, your wine, I opened it, poured him a mouthful, cut some green leaves, olive, and then there was a little altar. Someone had killed a lamb, a black lamb, cut a lock of hair. Death offerings. But whose? No one from Argos dares honor him. Electra, was it your brother? Has Prince Orestes come back in secret, visited his grave in secret, wept? Go there, match the hair against yours, see if the color matches. Brother, sister, it happens.
You're talking about Orestes, Uncle. Brave Orestes? He's not afraid. He'd have come openly. And how could our hair match? His hair's a gentleman's, an athlete's, hard and strong. Mine's a woman's, soft with combing. Lots of people's hair matches that aren't related. It's nonsense, Uncle.
Footprints.
The footprint! In the dust beside the grave. Go there, match them against your own.
There's no dust there, it's rock! And how could our footprints match? A man's, a woman's, his feet would be bigger.
Right, we won't recognize him that way. The garment, I know! He'll be wearing some garment you made for him years ago. I smuggled him to safety inn.
When Orestes went into exile, I was a little girl. Even if I had made him a garment, it would hardly fit him now. Unless by some miracle it grew while he did. This is a stranger, Uncle, a stranger! He saw the grave, pitied my father, or it's someone from Argos slipping past the guards.
Visitors? Your visitors, then? I want to see your visitors.
They're coming! They've heard you, they're here.
He looks princely enough. If only looks were all, if we could trust what people look like, well... My lord, good morning.
Good morning, old man. Who's this old relic? Whose side is he on?
I told you, this is father's old servant.
The one who saved your brother?
Well, if Orestes is alive, it's thanks to him.
What's he staring at? I'm not a coin. Is he checking I'm real?
He's pleased to see you, because you know Orestes.
None better. Why is he walking round me?
I've no idea.
Electra, on your knees, child. Pray, child.
Why?
Ask God to let you hold, cherish forever.
What are you talking about?
Look, child. Open your eyes, there's your darling.
What's wrong with you?
It's your brother. Your brother.
Don't be silly. Is it?
Prince Orestes, Agamemnon's son.
How can you tell?
A scar. Here. He fell once. When he was a little boy. You were trying to catch a fall, the pair of you, but he fell.
I see a scar, certainly.
Then hug him. Kiss him after all these years.
I believe you. Orestes, after all these years, I can hardly dare hope.
Hold me.
I hardly dared hope.
I never dared hope.
You're really Orestes.
Count on me. If I catch the prey I'm here to hunt, no, what am I talking about? Of course I'll catch it. If criminals were allowed to win, why would anyone ever believe in God again? Well, enough hugging and kissing for now. Tell me, old man, how lucky you were here. That murderer, father's murderer, and her, my mother's bedmate. How do I punish them? What do people think in Argos? Has Orestes' friend still there? Or am I bankrupt in that, as in other things? Should I go now in daylight, or should I wait till it's dark? What do I do? I need to know.
Unfortunately, no one from Argos supports you. You're an exile, good fortune or bad, no one wants to know. You're alone, it's entirely in your hands, your fate. The city, your father's throne restored, it's all up to you.
Well, I don't know what to do!
Kill Augustus. Kill your mother.
Thank you. But how?
You'll never get inside the city.
Augustus has guards?
Exactly. He's scared of you, don't sleep.
So what do I do? Advise me.
There is one way.
I'm listening.
As I was coming here, I saw Augustus.
Where was he?
He's got a training farm down the road.
Well, I don't see how this is supposed to help.
He was preparing a sacrifice.
The children, was it? Has he children?
They were getting a bowl ready.
Who were? The soldiers? Or merely slaves?
Palace servants, no soldiers.
Would they know who I was?
I doubt it. They're slaves.
And what would they do if I killed him?
They'd join you. They're slaves.
Just a case of getting close enough.
If he sees you, he'll invite you.
Be sorry if he does.
Once the sacrifice starts, it's up to you.
What about my mother? Where is she?
After the dancing starts, she'll come.
Why didn't she come before? With her mate?
The townspeople don't like it.
Seeing them together? I should think they don't.
It's recent still. They remember her husband and what she did.
I'm to kill both of them. Kill them both.
Leave Mummy to me. I'll take care of Mummy.
My care is like my shadow, made bare beneath the sun. It follows me at all times and flies when I pursue it. I freeze and yet am always free. Exposes yet am always her. I love and yet am forced to hate. I seem stuck mute inside. I pray.
blood of Oedipus. And suffering, which was his destiny, is our punishment too. This sentence passed on all of his children. Physical pain, contempt, insults, every type of dishonor. We've seen them all and endured them all together. Now today, have you heard it? This new proclamation that the king has made to the whole city. Have you heard how those nearest to us are to be treated? People we love.
No one has told me anything, Antigone. I have heard nothing, neither good nor bad, about anyone we love. Not since the battle. I mean the terrible news that both our brothers were dead. One day, one battle, and fratricide twice over. Each brother cutting down his own flesh. But the army of Argos retreated last night. I have heard that. Nothing else to cheer me up or depress me further.
I thought you hadn't. That's why I asked you to meet me here, where I can tell you everything, without any risk of being overheard.
What is it? More terrible news? Something black and frightening, I can see that.
Well, what do you think is many? Perhaps you can guess. We have two brothers, both of them dead. And Creon has decreed that a decent burial shall be given to one, but not to the other. Eteocles apparently has already been buried with full military honours, and all the formalities due to the dead meticulously observed, so that his rest in the underworld amongst the heroes is assured. But Polynices, who died in agony just as certainly as his brother did, is not to be buried at all. He is to be left lying where he fell, till the kites and the vultures catch the scent and tear him to pieces and prick him to the bone. Left unburied in the underworld, there's no rest for him any more than here. What a great king our Creon is, hey sister. It's against us, you realise, and against me in particular, that he has published this decree. And he'll soon be here himself to tell the senators and anybody else who hasn't heard it. He needs to act, to make it stick. The punishment for anybody who disobeys the order is public stoning to death. So that's the news, and you know it now. It is time for you to stand up and be counted with me, and show that you are worthy of being Oedipus's daughter.
Wait a minute, Antigone, don't be so headstrong. If all of this is as you say it is, what can I do one way or the other?
Just say you will help me. Commit yourself.
To do what? Something dangerous?
Just to give me a hand to lift the body. It's too heavy for me to lift on my own.
To bury him, you mean, in spite of the decree?
He's my brother, and like it or not, he's yours too.
You must be mad. Creon has publicly forbidden it.
He cannot forbid me to love my brother. He has neither the right nor the power to do that.
Have you forgotten what happened to our father? Contempt and loathing from everyone, even from himself. And that was his reward. And his mother's wife, as ill-matched with him as these two eyes are with each other. She knotted her rope and hung herself. Now our two brothers, both caught in the same trap, claiming blood for blood and death for death. We are the only ones left, sister. And what a death is promised for us, more terrible than any. If we break the law by defining the king and the power of the state, think for a moment, Antigone, please. We are women, physically weaker and barred from any political influences. How could we fight against the institutionalized strength of the male sex? They are in charge, and we have to obey them. This time, and maybe in worse situations than this. May God forgive me and the spirits of the dead. I have no choice. State power commands, and I must do as I'm told. When you are powerless, wild gestures and heroic refusals are reserved for madmen.
Don't say any more. In fact, if you were to offer me help now, I would refuse it. Do as you please. I intend to bury my brother, And if I die in the attempt, I shall die in the knowledge that I have acted justly. What greater satisfaction than that for a loving sister to embrace a loving brother, even in the grave, than to be condemned for the criminal act of seeing him at peace? Our lives are short. We have too little time to waste it on men and the laws they make. The approval of the dead is everlasting, and I shall bask in it as I lie among them. Do as you please. Live by all means. The laws that you will break are not of man's making.
I reverence them, but how can I defy the unlimited power of the state? What weapons of mine are strong enough for that?
Fine! That's a good excuse. I'll go and shovel the earth on my brother's body.
I'm frightened. Antigone, I'm frightened for you.
You shouldn't fear for me. You should fear for yourself.
For God's sake, keep it quiet. I'll keep on meeting your secret. I won't tell anyone.
Don't you dare! You must tell everybody. Shout it in the streets. If you don't, I shall begin to hate you.
There's a fire burning in you, Antigone, but it makes me go cold just to hear you.
I'm not doing it for you. It's for him.
This obsession will destroy you. You're certain to fail.
I shall fail when I have failed, and not before.
But why begin when you can't possibly succeed?
Just be quiet before I begin to despise you for talking so feebly. You can go now, go. If I'm mad, then you can leave me here in my madness, which will doubtless destroy me soon enough. The worst thing that can happen is death. And some deaths are more honourable than others.
If you've made your mind up, Antigone, it's madness. But remember, I love you.
Fear me
Whatever
not.
happens.
Withdraw. I hear him coming.
Now, mother, what's the matter?
Hamlet, thou hast thy father much offended.
Oh, mother, you have my father much offended.
How now, Hamlet?
What's the matter now?
Hast thou forgot me?
No, by the root, not so. You are the queen, your husband's brother's wife, and would it were not so, you are my mother.
Why then, I'll set someone that may speak to you.
Come, sit you down. You shall not budge. You go not till I set you up a glass where you may see the inmost part of you.
What wilt thou do? Wilt thou murder me? Help! Help! Help!
What? Oh!
And now, a rat, dead for a ducat, dead.
Oh, me! What hast thou done?
Nay, I know not. Is it the king?
What rash and bloody deed is this?
A bloody deed? Almost as bad, good mother, as kill a king and marry with his brother.
Kill a king!
Guy lady was my word. Thou wretched, rash, intruding fool! Farewell. I take thee for thy better. Oh, take thy fortune. Thou find'st to be too busy in some danger. Leave wringing of your hands. Peace, sit you down, and let me wring your heart. For so I shall, if it be made of penetrable stuff, if damned custom have not brazed it so that it be proof and bulwark against sense.
What have I done, that thou dost wag thy tongue in noise so rude against me?
Such an act that blurs the blush and grace of modesty, calls virtue hypocrite, takes off the rose from the fair forehead of an innocent love, and sets a blister there, makes marriage vows as false as dice's oaths. Oh, such a deed as from the body of contraction plucks the very soul, and sweet religion makes a rhapsody of words. Heaven's face does glow o'er the solidity and compound mass with heated visage as against the doom. His thoughts get the act.
I mean, what act that roars so loud and thunders in the index?
If you hear upon this brothers. See what a grace was seated on this brow. Hyperion's curls, the front of Jove himself. An eye like Mars to threaten and command. A station like the herald Mercury new lighted on a heaven-kissing hill. A combination and a form indeed, where every god did seem to set his seal to give the world assurance of a man. This was your husband, and look you now what follows. Here is your husband, like a mildewed ear blasting his wholesome brother. Have you eyes? Did you on this fair mountain leave to feed and batten on this moor? Huh? Have you eyes? You cannot call it love. For your age, the heyday in the blood is tame and humble and waits upon the judgment. And what judgment would step from this to this? Sense. Sure you have, else could you not have motion. But sure, that sense is apoplexed. For madness would not err, nor sense to ecstasy was ne'er so thralled, but it reserved some quantity of choice to serve in such a difference. What devil was that thus hath cozened you at Hoodman blind? Eyes without feeling, feeling without sight, ears without hands or eyes, smelling sans all but a sickly part of one true sense could not so mope. Oh, shame, where is thy blush? Rebellious hell, if thou canst mutiny in a matron's bones, to flaming youth, let virtue be as wax, melt in her own fire. Proclaim no shame when the compulsive ardour gives the charge, since frost itself is actively to burn, reason pardons will.
Hamlet, speak no more. Thou turns my eyes into my very soul, and there I see such black and graded spots as will not lose their ting.
Nay, to live in the rank sweat of an enseamed bed, stewed in corruption, honeying and making love over the nasty sty.
No more! Your words like daggers entering my ears. No more, sweet Hamlet.
A murderer and a villain, a slave that is not 20th part the kith of your president lord, a vice of kings, a cutpurse of the empire and the rule, that from a shelf the precious diadem stole and put in his pocket.
No more!
A king of shreds and patches! Save me and hover o'er me with your wings, you heavenly guards. What would your gracious figure?
This is mad.
Do you not come, your tardy son, to chide that lapsed in time and passion lets go by the important acting of your dread command? Oh, say! How is with you, lady?
Alas, how is with you, son? You do bend your eyes on vacancy, and with the incorporeal air do make discourse. Forth from your eyes, your spirits wildly peep, and like the sleeping soldiers in the alarm, your bedded hair, like life in excrement, starts up and stands on end. O gentle sun, upon the heat and flame of thy distemper, sprinkle cool patience. Whereon do you look?
On him.
lament the untimely fall of virtuous Lancaster. Poor cold figure of a holy king. Hail ashes of the house of Lancaster, thou bloodless remnant of that royal blood. Be it lawful that I invocate thy ghost to hear the lamentations of poor Anne, wife to thy Edward, thy slaughtered son, stabbed by the self-same hand that made these wounds. Lord, in these windows that let forth thy life, I pour the helpless balm of my poor eyes. Cursed be the hand that made these holes. Cursed the heart that had the heart to do it. Cursed the blood that led this blood from hence. More direful, happy tide that hated wretch that makes us wretched by the death of thee than I can wish to add a spider's tones of any creeping men and thing that lives. If ever have he child, abortive be it, prodigious and untimely brought to light, whose ugly and unnatural aspect may fright the hopeful mother at the view, and that the heir to his unhappiness. If ever have he wife, her be made more miserable by the death of him than I am made by the death of thee and my young lord. Come now, towards Chancellor with your holy load. Taken from Paul's to be interred there, and still rest you, as you are weary of the weight. While I lament King Henry's corpse.
Stay! You that bear the course, set it down.
What black magician conjures up this fiend to stop devoted charitable deeds?
Villains, set down the course, or by St. Paul, I'll make a course of him that disobeys.
What? Do you tremble? Are you all afraid? Alas, I blame you not. For you are mortal, and mortal eyes cannot endure the devil. Avaunt, thou dreadful minister of hell! Thou hadst but power over his mortal body, his soul thou cannot have. Therefore be gone.
Sweet saint, for charity be not so cursed.
Oh, devil, for God's sake, hence and trouble us not. For thou hast made thy happy earth thy hell, filled it with cursing cries and deep exclaims. If thou delight to view thy heinous deeds, behold this pattern of thy butcheries. Oh, gentlemen, see, see! Did Henry's wounds open their congealed mouths and bleed afresh? Blush, blush, thou lump of foul deformity, for 'tis thy presence that exhales this blood from cold and empty veins where no blood dwells. Thy deed, inhuman and unnatural, provokes this delusion, most unnatural. God, which this blood makes, revenge his death. Oh, earth, which this blood drinks, revenge his death. Either heaven with lightning strike the murderer dead, or earth gape open wide and eat him quick as thou dost swallow up this good king's blood, which his hell-governed arm hath butchered.
Lady, you know no rules of charity, which renders good for bad, blessings for curses.
Villain, thou knowst no law of God nor man. No beast so fierce but knows some touch of pity.
But I know none. Therefore, I am no beast.
How wonderful when devils tell the truth.
More wonderful when angels are so angry. Vouchsafe divine perfection of a woman, with these supposed crimes to give me leave by circumstance, but to acquit myself.
Vouchsafe diffused infection of a man of these known evils, but to give me leave by circumstance to accuse thy cursed self.
Fairer than tongue can name thee. Let me have some patient leisure to excuse myself.
Fouler than heart can think thee, thou canst make no excuse current but to hang thyself.
By such despair I should accuse myself.
And by despairing thou shalt stand excused for doing worthy vengeance on thyself, but did unworthy slaughter upon others.
Say that I slew them not.
And then say they were not slain. But dead they are. Heaven
he is alive.
Nay, he is dead, and slain by Edward's hand.
In thy foul throat thou lies. Queen Margaret saw thy murderous falcon smoking in his blood, to which thou once didst bend against her breast, but that thy brothers be beside the queen.
I was provoked by her slanderous tongue that laid their guilt on my guiltless shoulders.
Thou wast provoked by thy bloody mind that never dreams of aught but butcheries. Didst thou not kill this king?
I grant ye, yea.
Dost grant me, hedgehog, then God grant me too. Thou mayst be damned for that wicked deed. He was gentle, mild, and virtuous.
The better for the King of Heaven that hath him.
He is in heaven, where thou shalt never come.
Let him thank me that hope to send him thither, for he was fitter for that place than earth.
Thou unfit for any place but hell.
Yes, one place else, if you will hear me name it.
Some dungeon.
Your bedchamber.
Ill rest betide the chamber where thou liest.
So will it, madam, till I lie with you.
I hope so.
I know so. But, gentle Lady Anne, to leave this keen encounter of our wits and fall something into a slower method was not the causer of the timeless deaths of these Plantagenets, Henry and Edward, as blameful as the executioner.
Thou wast the cause, most accursed effect.
Thy beauty was the cause of that effect. Thy beauty that did haunt me in my sleep, to undertake the death of all the world that I might live 1 hour in your sweet bosom.
If I thought that, I tell thee, homicide, these nails should rend that beauty from my cheeks.
You should not blemish it if I stood by. As all the world is cheered by the sun, it is my day, my life.
Black night overshade thy day, and death thy life.
Curse not thyself, fair creature, thou art both.
I would I were to be revenged on thee.
It is a quarrel most unnatural to be revenged on him that loveth thee.
It is a quarrel just and reasonable to be revenged on him that killed my husband.
He that bereft thee, lady, of thy husband, did so to help thee to a better husband.
His better doth not breed upon the earth.
He lives that loves thee better than he could.
To name him,
Plantagenet,
why that was he.
the self-same name, but one of better nature.
Now where is he?
Here! Why dost thou spit at me?
Would it were mortal poison for thy sake.
Never came poison from so sweet a place.
Never hung poison on a fouler toad out of my sight, as dost infect mine eyes.
Thine eyes, fair creature, have infected mine.
Would they were basilisks to strike thee
Why
dead.
would they were, and I might die at once, for now they kill me with a living death. Those eyes of thine, from mine have drawn salt tears, shamed their aspect with store of childish drops. Those eyes of thine, from mine have drawn humble tears, these eyes that never shed remorseful tear. Nay, when my father, York, and Edward wept to hear the piteous moan that Rutland made when black-faced Clifford shook his sword at him, nor when thy warlike father, like a child, told the sad story of my father's death, and 20 times made pause to sob and weep, that all the standards by had wet their cheeks like trees bedashed with rain. In that sad time, my manly eyes did scorn and humble tear. And what these sorrows could not thence exhale, thy beauty hath made them blind with weeping. I never sued to friend nor enemy. My lips could never learn sweet smoothing word. But now thy beauty is proposed my fee. My proud heart sues, prompts my tongue to speak. Teach not thy lips such scorn, for it was made for kissing, lady, not for such contempt. Thy revengeful heart cannot forgive. Lo, here I lend thee this sharp-pointed sword, which if thou please to hide in this true breast, and let forth the soul that adoreth thee, I lay it naked to the deadly stroke, and humbly beg the death upon my knee. Nay, do not pause, for I did kill King Henry, but 'twas thy beauty that provoked me. Nay, now dispatch, 'twas I that stabbed young Edward, but 'twas thy heavenly face that set me on.
take up me.
Arise, dissembler. Though I wish thy death, I will not be thy executioner.
Then bid me kill myself, and I will do it.
I have already.
That was in thy rage. Speak it again, and even with the word. This hand, which for thy love did kill thy love, shall for thy love kill a far truer love. To both their deaths shalt thou be accessory.
I would I knew thy heart.
'Tis figured in my tongue.
I fear me both are false.
And never man was true.
Well, put up your sword.
Say then, my peace is made.
That shalt know hereafter.
But shall I live in hope?
All men, I hope, live so.
Vouchsafe to wear this ring.
To take is not to give.
Look, how my ring encompasseth thy finger. Even so thy breast encompasseth my poor heart. Wear both of them, for both of them are thine. And if thy poor devoted servant may but beg one favour at thy gracious hand, thou dost confirm his happiness for ever.
What is it?
That it may please you leave these sad designs to him that hath most cause to be a mourner. To presently repair to Crosby Place, where, after I have solemnly interred at Chertsey Monastery this noble king, and wet his grave with my repentant tears, I shall with all expedient duty see you. For diverse unknown reasons I beseech you, grant me this boon.
With all my heart, and much it joys me to see you have become so penitent.
Bid me farewell.
It is more than you deserve, but since you teach me how to flatter you, imagine I've said farewell already.
Sirs, take up the course. To Whitefriars, there attend my coming.
Miseria nomine, benedicta et nova confitera gratia, confite miseria non mia salvatum, dominira et conam. Mirabili gratia, benedicta et nova sanctia regia, confite miseria
Welcome, Prince Orestes, son of the warlord who toppled Troy. You ran the hard race. You triumphed. You killed him. Aegisthus, our enemy, he murdered our father, and for that he died.
God's first Electra. Their hand was here. Praise to the gods and then to us. Their servants of fate. I killed Aegisthus. I said I would. I did. Take this. Do what you want. Throw it to dogs. Spike it for birds. It's all yours. He ruled you once. Now he's in your hands.
All I want to do is... I can't, I'm embarrassed.
Do it! Whatever you like.
I want to shout at him. I can't, he's dead.
Who would blame you?
Our Argives are citizens.
You are Orestes' sister. Their tyrant's dead. We do as we like.
All right. I'll say it. Say it all. Start where I want to start. End where I want to end. You mated with our mother. You deserved each other. Aegisthus and Clytemnestra, you're a warning to the world. Do what you like. Live how you like. Treat justice how you like. But you're running a race, and it's longer than you think. I've done. Take it inside. Hide it. She mustn't see it. Mother mustn't see it until she sees the knife. Then let her see.
Hurry. It's happening.
Someone's coming from Argos. Soldiers.
No. It's her. It's our mother.
Stepping into the noose. What gorgeous clothes, what a glittering chariot.
What shall we do? Not kill her.
She murdered our father, yours and mine. She dies.
Come kill her. My own mother. Her womb. Her breast.
You don't. You disobey God's orders.
Apollo!
Is this what you ordered?
Do you challenge him?
But to kill my own mother?
To avenge your father?
And destroy myself?
If you disobey God's orders.
If I kill her, her furies will hunt me down.
If you don't, Apollo will hunt you
It
down.
wasn't Apollo, it was a phantom of infernal hell.
And Apollo's throne of prophecy ridiculous.
Am I to creep up on her? Stab her?
As she and Aegisthus murdered our father.
It's up to me. I'll do it. God wants it. God orders it. It's horrible. I'll do it.
Though far more cause, yet much less spirit to curse abides in me. I say amen to her.
Stay, madam, I must talk a word with you.
I have no more sons of the royal blood for thee to slaughter. And as for my daughters, Richard, they shall be praying nuns, not weeping queens. Therefore level not to hit their lives.
You have a daughter called Elizabeth. Virtuous and fair, royal and gracious.
And must she die for this? Oh, let her live. And I'll corrupt her manners, stain her beauty, slander myself as false to Edward's bed, throw over her the veil of infamy, so that she may live unscarred of bleeding slaughter. I will confess that she was not Edward's daughter.
Wrong not her birth, she's a royal princess.
To save her life, I'll say she is not so.
Her life is safest only in her birth.
And only in that safety died her brothers.
No, to their birth good stars were opposite.
No, to their lives ill friends were contrary.
All unavoided is the doom of destiny.
True, when unavoided grace makes destiny. My babes were destined to a fairer death, if grace had blessed thee with a fairer life.
You speak as if that I had slain my cousin.
Cousins indeed, and by their uncle cousined, of comfort, kingdom, kindred, freedom, life. My tongue should to thy ears not name my boys, till that my nails were anchored in thine eyes, and I, in such a desperate bay of death, like a poor bark of sails and tackling wreck, rush all to pieces on thy rocky bosom.
Madam, so thrive I in my dangerous success of bloody war, that I intend more good to you and yours than ever you and yours by me will
Oh,
harm.
what good is covered with the face of heaven to be discovered that can do me good?
The advancement of thy children, gentle lady.
Up to some scaffold to lose their heads?
Unto the dignity and height of fortune, the high imperial type of this earth's glory.
Flatter my sorrow with report of it. Tell me what state, what honour, what dignity canst thou devise to any child of mine?
Even all I have, I and myself, and all will I withal endow, a child of thine. So to the leave of thy angry soul thou drown the sad remembrance of those wrongs that thou supposest I have done to thee.
Oh, be brief, lest the process of thy kindness last longer telling than thy kindness's date.
Then know that with my soul I love thy daughter.
My daughter's mother thinks it with her soul.
What do you think?
That thou dost love my daughter from thy soul. And so from thy soul's love didst thou love her brothers. And from my heart's love do I thank thee for it.
Be not so hasty to confound my meanings. I mean that with my soul I love thy daughter, and do intend to make her Queen of England.
Oh, well then, who dost thou mean shall be her king?
And then he who makes her queen, who else
What?
should be?
Thou?
Even so, how think you of it?
How canst thou woo her?
That I would learn of you, being one best acquainted with their humour,
And wilt thou learn from me?
with all my heart.
Send to her, by the man that slew her brothers, a pair of bleeding hearts, thereon engraved Edward and York. Oh, then haply she will weep. Therefore present to her, as sometimes Margaret did to thy father, steeped in Rutland's blood. a handkerchief, which say did drain the purple sap from her sweet brother's body, then bid her wipe her weeping eyes withal. Oh, if this inducement move her not to love, send her a letter of thy noble deeds. Tell her thou madest away with her uncle Rivers, her uncle Clarence, and I, for her sake, made quick conveyance with her good Aunt Anne.
You mock me, madam. This is not the way to win your daughter.
There is no other way! Unless thou could put on some other shape, and not be Richard that hath done all this.
Say I did all this for love of her.
Nay, and she cannot choose but hate thee, having bought love with such a bloody spoil.
Look, what is done cannot be now amended. Men shall deal unadvisedly sometimes, which after hours gives leisure to repent. If I did take the kingdom from your sons, to make amends I'll give it to your daughter. The loss you have is but a son being king, and by that loss your daughter is made queen. I cannot make you what amend I would, therefore accept such kindness as I can. Dorset, your son, that with fearful soul leads discontented steps in foreign soil, this fair alliance quickly shall go home to high promotions and great dignity. The king that calls thy beauteous daughter wife, familiarly shall call thy Dorset brother. Again shall you be mother to a king, and all the ruins of distressful time repaired with double riches of repent. Prepare her here to hear a wooer's tale. Put in her tender heart the spiring flame of sovereignty. Acquaint the princess with the sweet, silent hours of merry joys. And when this arm of mine hath chastised that petty rebel, dull-brained Buckingham, bound with victorious garlands will I come to lead your daughter to a conqueror's bed. To whom will I return my conquest won? She shall be sole victoress. Caesar's Caesar!
What were I best to say? Her father's brother would be her lord? Or shall I say her uncle? Or he that slew her brothers and her uncles? Under what title shall I woo for thee? That God, the law, my honour, and her love can make seem pleasing to her tender years.
In fair England's peace by this alliance.
Which she shall purchase with still lasting war.
Tell her the king who may command entreats.
That at her hands which the king's king forbids.
Say she shall be a high and mighty queen.
To veil the title as her mother doth.
Say I will love her everlastingly.
But how long shall that title ever last?
Sweetly enforce until her fair life's end.
But how long fairly shall her sweet life last?
As long as heaven and nature lengthens it.
As long as hell and Richard likes of it.
Say I, her sovereign, and her subject low.
But she, your subject, loathes such sovereignty.
Be eloquent in my behalf to her.
An honest tale speeds best being plainly told.
Then plainly to her tell my loving tale.
Plain and not honest is too harsh a style.
Your reasons are too shallow and too quick.
Oh no, my reasons are too deep and dead. Too deep and dead, poor infants in their graves.
Harp not on that string, madam, that is past.
Harp on it, still shall I till heartstrings break.
Now, by my George, my garter, and my crown.
Profaned, dishonoured, and the third usurped.
I swear.
Thy nothing, for this is no oath. Thy George profaned hath lost his holy honour. Thy garter, blemished, pawned his knightly virtue. Thy crown usurped, disgraced his kingly glory. If something thou wouldst swear to be believed, swear then by something thou hast not wronged.
Then by the world.
'Tis full of thy foul wrongs.
My father's death.
Thy life hath it disgraced.
Then by myself.
Thyself is self-misused.
Why then by God.
God's wrong is worst of all. If thou didst fear to break an oath with him, the unity the king my husband made thou hadst not broken, nor my brothers died. Thy broken faith hath made the prey for worms. What canst thou swear by now?
The time to come.
That thou hast wronged in the time overpast. For I myself have many tears to wash here after time for time. Past wronged by thee, swear not by time to come. For that thou hast misused, ere used by times ill used, O past.
As I intend to prosper and repent, so thrive I in my dangerous affairs of hostile arms. Myself confound. Gods and fortune bar me happy hours. Day, yield me not thy light, nor night thy rest. Be opposite all planets of good luck to my proceedings. If With heart's love, immaculate devotions, holy thought, I tender not thy beauteous princely daughter. In her consists my happiness and thine. Therefore, my dear mother, I must call you so. Be the attorney of my love to her. Plead what I will be, not what I have been. Not my desert, but what I will deserve. Urge the state and necessity of time, and not be peevish found in great designs.
Shall I be tempted of the devil thus?
Aye, if the devil tempt you to do good.
Shall I forget myself to know myself?
Aye, if your self-remembrance wrong yourself.
Yet thou didst kill my children.
And in your daughter's womb I bury them, where in that nest of spicery they breed cells of themselves to your comforture.
Shall I go win my daughter to thy will?
And be a happy mother by the deed.
I go. Write to me very shortly, and you shall understand of me her mind.
Bear her my true love's kiss. And so farewell. Relenting fool and shallow changing woman.
No night, no day, no rest. It is but weakness. To bear the matter does mere weakness. If the cause were not in being part of the cause, she the adulteress. For the harlot king is quite beyond mine arm, out of the blank and level of my brain. What proof? What she can hook to me, say that she were gun given to the fire. A mite of my rest might come to me again. 'Twas there.
My lord?
How does the boy?
He took good rest tonight. 'Tis hoped his sickness is discharged.
To see his nobleness, conceiving the dishonor of his mother, he straight declined, droop took it deeply, fastened and fixed the shame onto himself, threw off his spirit, his appetite, his sleep, and downright languished. Leave me solely, go see how he fares. Camillo and Polixenes laugh at me, make their sorrow, make their at my sorrow. They should not laugh if I don't reach them. Now shall she within my power.
You must not enter.
Nay, rather, good my lords, be second to me. Fear you his tyrannous passions more alas than the queen's life? A gracious, innocent soul, more free than he is jealous.
That's enough.
You shall not enter, ye have commanded so.
Not so hot, good sirs. I come to bring him sleep. 'Tis such as you that creep like shadows by him, such as you nourish the cause of his awakening. I do come with words as medicinal as true, honest as either, to purge him of that humor that presses him from sleep.
What noise there? Oh.
No noise, my lord, but needful
How?
conference about some gossips, for your highness.
How? Away with the audacious lady, Antigonus! I charged thee that she should not come about me. I knew she would.
I told her so, my lord. On your displeasure's peril and on mine, she should not visit you.
What? Canst thou rule her?
From all dishonesty he can. In this, unless he takes the course that you have done, commit me for committing honor. Trust it, he shall not rule me.
La, you hear? When she will take the reins, I let her run, but she'll not stumble.
Good, my liege. I come and I beseech you hear me. As your most loyal servant, your physician, your obedient counsellor, and yet that dares less appear so in comforting your evils than such as most seem yours. I say I come from your good queen.
My good queen?
Good queen, my lord, good queen. I say good queen, and would by combat make her good. So are a man. The worst about you.
Force her hands!
Nothing that makes but trifles of his eyes first hand me. On mine own accord I'll off. But first I'll do mine errand.
Out!
The good queen, for she is good, hath brought you forth a daughter. Here 'tis. Commends it to your blessing.
Art a mankind witch! Hands feet are out the door! The most intelligence in both!
Forever unvenerable be thy hands, if thou takest up the princess by that forced baseness which he has put upon.
Traitors! Will you not push her out? You heard the bastard, thou that's it. Take up. Take it up, I say! Give it to thy crown.
Not so. I am as innocent in that as you are in so I am as ignorant in that as you are in so entitling me. And no less honest than you are mad, which I'll warrant is enough in this world to pass for honest.
He threats his wife.
So I would you did. Then 'twere past all doubt you'd call your children yours.
And I stop traitors.
I am none by this good light.
Nor I, nor any but one that's here. And that's himself. For he, the own sacred honour of himself, his queens, his babes, his hopeful sons betrays to slander, whose sting is sharper than the sword, and who cannot, for as the case now stands, it is a curse he cannot be compelled to it, once remove the root of his opinion, which is as rotten as ever oak or stone were sound.
A carrot of boundless tongue, who late had her husband, and now baits me. This threat is none of mine. It is the issue of Polixenes. Answer it together with the them. Commit with them to the fire.
It is yours. And may we lay the proverb to your charge. So like you 'tis the worse. Behold, my lords, though the print be little, the whole matter in the copy of the fathers, eyes, nose, lip, nay, the value of pretty dimples on cheek and chin, his smiles, the very mould and frame of hand, nail, finger, and thou, good goddess nature, which has made him so like to him that got it, thou hast the ordering of the mind as well. Amongst all the colours, no yellow in't, lest he suspect as she does, her children's not her husband's.
Gross hag! And Luzel, thou art worthy to be hanged that will not stay her tongue!
Hang all the husbands that cannot do that feat. You'll leave yourself hardly one subject.
Once more, take your hands.
Most unworthy and unnatural lord can do no more.
But hardy don't.
I care not. It is an heretic that makes the fire, not she which burns within't. I'll not call you a tyrant, but this most cruel usage of your queen, not able to produce more accusation than your own weak-hinged fancy, something savours of tyranny, and will ignoble make you, yea, scandalous to the world. Farewell, we are off.
prettiest spoils of Troy. Their gold adorns our temples, and these beauties are all mine. Small compensation for the loss of your sister, Iphigenia, my daughter who was stolen. But charming, charming.
Mother, take my hand. Let me help you. Another of your slaves, another possession. Let me help your majesty.
It's quite all right. I brought my slaves on purpose.
I'm not a slave. Is that what you mean? Dragged into exile, father murdered. It happened to them, it happened to me.
Your father's to blame. He betrayed the people he loved. He's to blame. I know what you think of me. More lies, more scandal, more slander. But before a person condemns a person out of hand, they ought at least to listen. They ought to hear the facts and then despise with good cause or not at all. When I first came to your father, I thought he was my husband, not a murderer. But he took my daughter, Iphigenia, and he spun me some yarn about betrothing her to Achilles. And he took her to Aulis, where the fleet was, and he strung her up, and he slashed her throat. Her innocent white throat. And I could have forgiven him even then, if I thought he did it to save our Argus. And if one child had to die, that others might live. But for her, for Helen, the bitch, a whore, out of all control, who slept with anyone, for her, he kills my daughter. But I bit my tongue. I could have killed him then. I didn't. And then, back from Troy, he brings Cassandra. The mad one, good in prophecy, good in bed. He claims the palace is big enough for 2 wives. A problem. So I took a lover of my own. Why shouldn't I? It's what women do. My daughter's murdered, my husband's an adulterer. And who gets to blame? We do. Wives do. Women do. Whoever blames their husband. Well, what if Menelaus had been stolen to Troy? Not Helen, but Menelaus. Well, would I have killed Orestes to get back Helen's husband, my sister's husband? If I had laid one finger on Agamemnon's son, he would have killed me. His own wife. Oh, he would have killed me. Well, he stole my daughter, so I had to kill him. He had to die. And because none of you, none of his relatives would help me, I looked outside for a stranger, Aegisthus. He was handy. Say something. Speak. It is allowed. Oh, I know how you'll begin. My father did not deserve to die.
Mother, it's allowed, you said. Let me speak, you said. Remember that you gave permission.
Of course, my dear.
To say what I like?
Whatever your heart desires.
In that case, first of all, Mother, I wish you were not what you are. Helen and Clytemnestra, sisters, beauties, whores. Alcestis, your brother, must blush for you. Aunt Helen was snatched by force, they say. She couldn't wait. You killed the finest man in Greece. Invented a reason afterwards. I killed him to avenge my child. Other people may believe you, I don't. He'd hardly left the house, Agamemnon. Long before Iphigenia's death was even thought of, he'd hardly left the house. And there you were, dripping and creaming. Such pretty hair. A husband goes to war and his wife runs to the mirror. What are we supposed to think? She's going to stay indoors or step outside, start hunting. And for you, it worked. I think you were the only wife in Greece to stop when things went badly for the Trojans. You didn't want him back. What was wrong with you? Agamemnon and Aegisthus, how could they possibly be compared? Aegisthus! And the man chosen above all others to lead all Greece. Your sister was a whore. You didn't have to join her. When people looked at her, and then at you, they should have cheered. Another thing, Agamemnon killed your daughter, he did it. What did I do? What did Orestes do? You killed your husband, ruler of Argos. Why didn't you give us our inheritance at once? You gave it to your bedmate. Payment. The services rendered. For what Aegisthus did to us, he should be dead. Exile for Orestes and dead for the living death he gave me. Far worse than anything Iphigenia ever suffered. Death pays for death, you say? All right. You killed my father, Orestes' father, and for that, you die.
I'll tell you how it is. You're Daddy's girl, not Mummy's. You always have been, and you always will be. But I forgive you. It's not as if I take pride in what I did. In the heat of the moment, my own husband. I went a little far.
It's too late. He's dead. Father's dead. But Orestes is alive in exile. You could bring him home.
I don't. His father's dead. You hate me.
You could call Aegisthus off. Stop him tormenting me.
I can't. When he makes up his mind, it's just like you.
I'll change. I'll smile.
So perhaps might he?
Oh, it's too late. He lives where I should live.
You see, you always start again.
I'll be quiet. He scares me. Quiet.
Let's leave it. You called me here. Why?
A baby. They told you I've had a baby.
Yeah, that's some time ago. You might at least have washed your hair.
Do something for me. Sacrifice when a baby's born. We sacrifice. Ask for good omens. I don't know the words. I've never done it before. Please help.
Could you ask the midwife?
I was alone. I delivered him.
You must have neighbours around here.
No one comes. We're poor.
All right. I'll go inside and pay the gods their due. And then up the road, Aegisthus is sacrificing. There's to be a banquet somewhere on the estate. Slaves, water the horses, feed them, stay here. I'll do what has to be done. First you, then Aegisthus. I oblige everyone.
Go in. Mind your dress. The walls are city. Make your sacrifice. The gods are waiting. It's waiting too, the knife. It killed that bull. It'll drink your blood. You'll lie with him, mated in life, in death. I too grant favours. Blood for blood!
Your father's to blame. He betrayed the ones he loved. He's to blame. Oh, I know what you're thinking. More lies, more slander. How can she say such things? I know what you think of me. Before people condemn people out of hand, they ought to listen. Ought to hear the facts. And then despise for good reason. Or not at all. When I came to your father, Agamemnon, I thought he was a husband, not a murderer. And he took my child, Iphigenia, spent some yarn about betrothing her to Achilles. Took her to Aulis, where the fleet was, hung her high, slashed her throat. Innocent, white, road. Oh, I could have forgiven him if he'd done it to save our Argos. One child has to die in order to save others' lives. But for her, for Helen, a bitch, a whore, out of all control, would have slept with anyone. For her, he kills my child? Well, I bit my tongue. I could have killed him then. I didn't. Then home from Troy, he brings Cassandra, the mad one, good at prophecy and good in bed. Claims the palace is big enough. 2 wives, no problem. So I took a lover of my own. What of it? Women do that. Daughter murdered, husband an adulterer. What do they expect? And who gets the blame? We do. Women do. Wives do. Whoever blames the husband? Suppose Menelaus had been stolen to Troy. Not Helen, Menelaus. Would I have killed Orestes to get back Helen's husband? My sister's husband? Well, he took my child. He had to die. I had to kill him! And because none of you, none of his family would help, I turned to an outsider. Akistos. He was handy.
Now tell me a simple yes or no. Did you hear of my order forbidding the burial?
Of course I heard it. How could I not?
Yet you dared to disobey the law.
Yes, I did. Because it's your law, not the law of God. Natural justice, which is of all times and places, numinous, not material, quality of Zeus, not of kings, recognizes no such law. You are merely a man, mortal like me, and laws that you enact cannot overturn ancient moralities or common human decency. They speak the language of eternity, are not written down and never change. They are for today, yesterday, and all times. And no man's arrogance or power can make me disobey them. I would rather suffer the disapproval and punishment of men than to dishonor such ancient truths. I shall die, of course, one day, whether you make laws or not. If my death comes sooner rather than later, I shall welcome it. My life has been misery, is misery now. I'll be more than happy to leave it. There will be no pain and no despair in that. But to leave my mother's son out there in the open unburied, that would have been unendurable. I could not have borne it. As this I shall endure. By your judgment, of course, it's the fool. But by my judgment, it's you,
not be accused as acting foolishly.
Well, we shall see. Any man can be broken, and often the most committed and determined break soonest. Even iron, you know, left lying in the fire too long, becomes over-tempered and will snap as soon as a little pressure is applied. You can break it in pieces. And the wildest horse, in the end, submits to the bit and halter, just like the rest. People without power, ordinary citizens, must necessarily obey those in authority over them. This woman is very proud, and that was obvious in the first place when she broke the law, and is even clearer now. She glories in the crime she has committed and insults me to my face, as well as ignoring my decree. If she is allowed to flout the law in this way, all authority in this state will collapse. I will not have that. There'll be no exchanging of roles here. Me playing the woman while she plays the king. The law has its weapons. She is my niece, my sister's child. But I am the law, and that responsibility is about kinship. Were she even closer, the closest, my own daughter, my duty will be plain. The law has its weapons. I have no doubt in this illegal act. I have no doubt in this illegal act to the full extent of punishment proscribed. The other one is me, bring her here. I saw her in the corridor talking to herself, sobbing emotionally like a mad woman. Guilty consciences, you see, can never be hidden completely. The human face reveals conspiracies before they are enacted again and again. But there is nothing more disgusting than this confessed criminal who tries to justify his actions, as this woman has done here today.
What more do you want? Kill me now and have done with it!
Nothing more than your death. That will be enough.
Then what are you waiting for? Nothing you say will be of the slightest interest to me, and my arguments you will not listen to. I've done what I said I'd do. I've buried my brother, and I aspire to no greater honor. If I am to be famous, let it be for that. All these senators of yours, they all agree with me in their hearts. But there's no gag like terror, is there, gentlemen? And tyrants must have their word, both in word and in action.
You're quite mistaken. None of the Thebans anywhere in the city thinks as you do.
They all do, but they keep their mouths shut when you're here.
Not at all. And you should be ashamed. Setting yourself up against authority, disregarding the will of the people.
I love my brother. I honor him dead as I loved him living. There is no shame in that.
The one he murdered, wasn't he your brother?
My mother bore them both, and I loved them both.
You honor one, you insult the other.
Neither of those dead men would say that.
Antiocles would! His brother was a traitor! Does he deserve no greater respect than that?
But he was not an animal. They were both men, and they died together.
Yes, one died defending his country, while the other traitorously attacked it.
The dead have their rights, and we have our duties towards them, dictated by common decency.
And good and bad to be honoured equally. Where are our values? Patriotism? Civic duty?
Death is another country. Such things may not be valued there, may even be crimes.
An enemy is an enemy! Dead or alive.
No. I have enough love to share, and no hate for anyone.
Very well. Share your love. Share it with the dead. I wish them well of it. Women must learn to obey, as well as men. There can be no special treatment. Law is law, and will remain so while I am alive. And no woman will get the better of me.
You knew this departure, as you know what you've undertaken to do in substance.
Sir, you speak a language that I understand not. My life stands in the level of your dreams, which I'll lay down.
Your actions are my dreams. You had them busted by Polyxenes, and I but dreamt it. As you were past all shame, those of your fact are so, which past all truth which to deny concerns more than avails. For as thy brat hath been cast out, like to itself, no farther owning it, which is indeed more criminal in thee than it, so you shall feel our justice, in whose easiest passage look for no less than death.
Sir, spare your threats. The bug which you would frighten me with, I seek. To me can life be no commodity, the crown and comfort of my life, your favor. I do give lost, for I do feel it gone, but know not how it went. The second joy and first fruits of my body, in his presence I am barred like one infectious. My third comfort, starred most unluckily, is from my breast, the innocent milk in its most innocent mouth hauled out to murder. Myself, on every post proclaimed a strumpet, with immodest hatred, the childbed privilege denied, which belongs to women of all fashion. Lastly, hurried here, to this place, in the open air, before I have got strength of limit. Now, my liege, tell me what blessings I have here alive that I should fear to die. Therefore, proceed.
Yes.
But yet hear this. Mistake me not. My life, I prize it not a straw, but for mine honor, which I would free. If I shall be condemned upon surmises, all proof sleeping with what thy jealousies awake, I tell you, 'tis rigor and not law. Your honors all, I do refer me to the oracle. Apollo be my judge.
This your request is altogether just, and therefore bring forth and in Apollo's name his oracle.
The Emperor of Russia was my father. Oh, that he were alive and here beholding his daughter's trial, and that he did but see the flatness of my misery, yet with eyes of pity, not revenge.
Here you shall swear upon the sword of justice. You dared not break the holy seals, nor read the secret sin.
All this I swear.
Break up those seals and read!
Hermione is chaste, Polyxenes blameless, Camillo a true subject, Leontes a jealous tyrant, his innocent babe truly begotten, and the king shall live without an heir, if that which is lost be not found.
Dost thou read truth?
I, my lord, even as it is here set down.
There is no truth in the oracle. These sessions shall proceed. This is mere falsehood.
My lord, the king, the king!
What is the business?
Oh, Sarah shall be hated to report it. The prince, your son, with mere fear and conceit of the queen's speed is gone.
How gone?
Is dead.
themselves to strike at my injustice.
Oh! This news is mortal to the Queen. Look down and see what death is doing. Oh.
Take her hand. Her hand is but poor child. She will recover. Beseech you, tenderly apply to her some remedies for life. Apollo, pardon my great profaneness against thine oracle. I reconcile me to Polixenes, new woo my queen, recall the good Camillo whom I proclaim a man of truth. How he glisters thorough in my rust, and how his piety makes my deeds the blacker.
Oh, the wall! Oh, cut my lace, lest my heart breaking and break too!
What fit is this, good lady?
What studied torments tyrant has for me? What wheels, racks, fires, what flaying, boiling in leads or oils? What old or newer torture must I receive, whose every word deserves to taste of thy most worst? Thy tyranny together wagging with thy jealousies, fancies too foolish for boys, too green and idle for girls of men. Oh, look what they have done, and then run mad indeed, stark mad, for all thy bygone fooleries were but spices of it. That thou betrayedst Polixenes, 'twas nothing, that did but show thee of a fool, inconstant and damnable ingrateful. Nor was much, thou wouldst have poisoned good Camillo's honor to have him kill a king. Poor trespassers more monstrous standing by, whereof I reckon the casting forth of crows to thy baby daughter, to be or none or little, though a devil would have shed water out of fire ere done. Nor is directly laid to thee the death of the young prince, whose honourable thoughts high for one so tender, cleft the heart that did conceive a gross and foolish sire, blemished his gracious dad. This is not, no, laid to thy answer, but the last. Oh, lords, when I have said, cry woe, the queen, the sweetest, dearest creature's dead, and vengeance for it not dropped down yet.
The higher powers forbid.
I say she's dead, I'll swear it. If word nor oath prevail not, go and see if you can bring tincture or lustre in her lip, her eye, heat outwardly or breath within. I'll serve you as I would do the gods, but oh, thou tyrant! Do not repent these things, for they are heavier than all thy woes can stir. Therefore betake thee to nothing but despair. 1,000 knees, 10,000 years together, naked, fasting upon a barren mountain, and still, winter in storm perpetual, could not move the gods to look that way thou wert.
Go on. Go on. Thou canst speak too much. I have deserved all tongues to talk their bitterest.
Say no more. However the business goes, you have made faults in the boldness of those speech.
I'm sorry for it. All faults I make when I shall come to know them. I do repent. Alas, I have showed too much the rashness of a woman. He is touched to the noble heart. What's gone and what's past help should be past grief. I do beseech you, rather, do not show affliction at my petition. Now, my liege sir, royal sirs, forgive a foolish woman. I will not speak of your lady no more, nor of my good lord, who is lost too. Take your patience to me, and I'll say nothing.
You did speak but well when most the truth, which I receive much better than to be pitied of thee. Prithee, lead me to the dead bodies of my queen and son. One grave shall be for both, upon them shall the causes of their death appear into our shame perpetual. Once a day I'll visit the chapel where they lie, and tears shed there shall be my recreation. So long as nature will bear up with this exercise, so long I daily vow to use it. Come and lead me to my sorrows.